Hello and welcome to The Point. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dan Cruz with Vivian, Kassi, and Rico. We're back. We're going to be talking some more. We're going to be talking about children and our responsibility to them as adults and as a community, and what we can do to improve their lives and improve society. Kassi, do you have some thoughts?
Oh, I have lots of thoughts about that. That's a pretty big topic when we're talking about children. I think that I want to just start on the educational system, because I really think that that's such a broad thing you just laid out to discuss. And I'm going to just take a small section of it. We're going to talk about education, because the educational system actually is part of our government.
Public education.
Public education. So let's talk specifically about public education, because that is what our tax dollars, which 40% or 45% actually of my money gets to go to. The taxes actually are appropriated out, in each one of us get to pay for it, right? So we should all have an opinion, hopefully, about public education. I went to school through public education. That's how I went through school, is through the public school system. And I do not think that it was a bad education. I think that that's been my way out of ignorance, really, is through education, through thoughts, through dialogues. The best classes that I had were always classes that were fun, that were engaging, that the teacher cared about us learning what was going on and the subject that they were teaching. I did not care about the building. I did not care about what it looked like. It meant nothing to me. What I cared about was the quality of the teacher, and that's when I learned something. And I really think that our focus on our educational system now has been so skewed to the wrong area. I really think that our teachers...
Where has it been skewed to?
Well, our teachers are like getting paid poverty level. I mean, that's the people that are teaching our children, and they're at poverty level, $25,000, $30,000 a year. That does not attract the best or the brightest people that are going to be teaching our youth and also our society as it grows. I think the teachers are undervalued, and I just think some of the things like they should be year-long. And during the summer or whenever the kids have the break, they are required to go back to school to engage in activities of team building and also furthering their education of the subject that they're to teach.
The kids should go back to school.
Well, no, I'm talking about the teachers.
The teachers should go back to school.
I'm talking, so that's a year-long, that's a year-long work. And they require, I think, to be rejuvenated by other adults and also be the student during that time so they can be better teachers, and also to further their subject or their knowledge on the subject, and to be active and engaged and have some passion for what they're teaching.
They'd have a little more passion if they had a little more money.
They have a little more money,
It's hard to get passionate about when we don't have no money.
That's
true. Because if they're getting paid on the poverty level, let me tell you something. School months, 9 months out of the year, as it is right now. So you have 3 months off of the summer for the money to teach at school. And there's not much motivation to go there when you get like you said, poverty level pay.
I think education it has to be a partnership between the teacher, the student, and the parents.
The three. There's the triangle.
Because we have to figure a way to get our children excited about learning. One of the things that gets them excited about learning is the passion of the teacher. That the teacher, I think, and parents can color a child's attitude towards the subject, towards learning. If it becomes a big chore, chances are it's not going to happen. But if you can get kids say, you know what? If you do this, it's going to open doors for you. It can change your life. You don't have to be one place down here. You can go any place. The sky is the limit. It will change everything in your life. Like, for instance, I'm talking about reading and writing right now. Yeah, just basics. You can go any place you want. You can in personal relationships, it will color the way people will perceive you and will receive you. You only have a chance to make one first impression. And if you come off as being an idiot,
It's fascinating to me that before we talked about domestic violence and we didn't care what other people thought. Now you're concerned about people's opinions of the student.
No.
But that's not even my point. We have a lot of parents that don't care about the schooling. We have a lot of parents that don't care about their children.
That's correct.
We have parents,
absolutely.
We have parents that are completely unqualified to be parents.
And I believe that has something to do with our educational system.
And that's part of the problem.
I think that has to do something with how we're schooling, how we're teaching what is important to the children or the ones that are rising up, that are becoming adults.
I mean, teachers are fighting an uphill battle.
And
giving them more money is a great start. But
I'm just saying valuing.
There are no public servants who make a lot of money except legislators. They're the only ones that make money because they decide how much money they get.
Right, and
so
they shouldn't be able. We should change that.
There are no public servants. You want the teachers to decide how much they should get paid?
No, I'm not saying that the teachers should decide. What I'm saying is that the legislators should not get all that money, and also that the people that get more money are the principals and the superintendents and all the board of the education and the chairman. You know what? Those are adults.
Yes.
Who needs and they're actually administering other adults. What really needs to happen, the focus needs to get back on the teacher in education is what I'm saying. I'm not saying, just throw money at them.
It has to get back on the student. And it has to get back on that really solid groundwork. And back to the parents, I think one of the problems is the parents can say, oh, yeah, do your studying. But if the parents themselves don't set an example, a real example, so often parents are off doing something else that's contrary to what they're saying. So they're actually giving
mixed messages. Because do what I say, not what I do. But we have a phone call, so we're going to take the caller. Caller, come on aboard. Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good. Found the conversation pretty interesting. I think that it's a problem that we all are concerned about because it's gotten so big and out of control, and we don't really know what's going on with the Board of Education and how they make their decisions about how the schools are going to operate. You know, it's our money, but I don't think that we're very educated about how they're making their decisions, and no one's asking me what should be done.
And how to appropriate the money, really, where the money really is going to be appropriated to. We don't get to have any opinions on that. We don't get to vote on any of that. We don't even really get to be aware of it because they just sit.
So why don't we change it?
That's right.
Why don't we say, hey.
And that's right. And people that have children should be very involved. Mm-hmm. And people that are passionate about it should be very involved in what's going on and being part of it instead of playing the blame game and saying they should do this and somebody should do that and it's the parents' fault and it's the teacher's fault because they're not passionate and they don't get money.
Right.
It's the so-and-so's fault and stuff like that. So it's like it's everybody's fault, and it's a huge problem, and it's very out of control. And I think that there's a lot of money and that they could do a lot better with what like things you read. There's schools that have books that are falling apart. They don't have enough books for the students. The classrooms are have asbestos and they don't have good facilities to even. They don't have doors on the toilet stalls for the girls when they go to the bathroom. There's no privacy. I mean, it's like I think the facilities problem is a problem because they're so old. But
which brings up an interesting point for me because what happened to all that money that that was supposed to come from the lottery?
Yeah.
When they started the lottery, a percentage was supposed to go to the schools. So where is that money going?
God, I haven't heard about
it's
the
really
lottery
not. It's really not very much money.
Yeah. Say again.
It's really not very much money.
No, because they need to
That's
keep it
the
all
problem.
for themselves.
Oh no, there's a lot of money. They're just not getting the money.
It's not that much money. The budget for the schools is huge, and the lottery money is a very small percentage. And what invariably administrators will do is they don't increase the budget based on an influx of funds. They just reallocate the money. You don't get more money to do
reallocate it where?
You don't get more money to do the same things.
Yeah, but what we're trying to do,
you do other things.
Okay, but what we're trying to find out, where's the zip code of that money?
Yeah.
You see, that money's going somewhere. So
Yeah, and
what's the
it's
zip
being-
code? Because it's not going to the school.
Where's the zip code?
Do you feel me? It's not going to the
It
school.
was supposed to fix everything. We were supposed. That was
That's why we
supposed to
became
be the
a gambling
fix.
state.
And what has happened
Caller,
is
thank you.
So much. Yes, thank you, caller. So much of that money is gone, I think, to advertising and promotion and to the management of the lottery game. And so it just didn't turn out to be as much. And I just need to say at this point, I don't think that throwing more money is necessarily the whole solution to the problem. I think we've had a lot of misappropriations of funds in Ray education, in Ray facilities. Remember the whole thing with the Coconut Grove?
Oh, right.
You know, Donald Trump had the Coconut Grove, and the LA City school system absolutely had to buy this property at an astronomical amount of money.
Yeah, why? And why were they allowed to do that?
It's still sitting there.
Why were they allowed to buy it for an astronomical amount of
and
money?
why are
you're
they
suggesting that
wasting
majority
time?
rule on school decisions? Is that what you're suggesting?
I'm not sure what you're asking me, but
I'm asking
before
you if
you
those
ask me
subjects
that
should go to the
question,
vote.
do we still have the caller on the line?
No, call us.
Okay. Because I actually wanted to ask, I wondered if the caller actually had a solution to what...
Well, she had some part of a solution. She said, basically, in a nutshell, she was saying be more proactive.
Yes.
And this can
Get
be,
involved.
and this can go across the board, not just with schools, but it can go across the board in terms of our police departments. You know,
Yes.
because that's a real,
our judicial system,
that's
our
a
jails.
big problem too.
Our
you know what I mean?
our health
we
care.
pay the
Our health
taxes,
care.
and we're paying the
We're paying the
taxes,
taxes.
and we're paying their salaries. We have to step to the plate and go, wait a minute, we don't agree
Yes.
with how you're running things over here.
I think
you know what I mean? We are
apathy-
paying your salaries. We're paying these people who are in the school board. We're paying their salaries too. So, we need to pick up the phone and find out when there is a meeting down in City Hall, when there is a meeting at the school board, when there, let's go and let's arrange a town hall meeting for those teachers and those school board people to come there, those police officers or the people who represent the law enforcement agencies to get together and say, we don't like how you're doing stuff.
Yeah,
let's not
apathy-
just say, oh, it's bad, we hate it, that kind of a thing. Yeah, it's a big problem. The biggest problem is that we don't open up our mouths and we don't say anything.
Yeah, apathy's played a huge role in the problems that we're in today.
The lack of voting.
Listen, I just don't have time. I'm tired. I don't want to go to a town hall meeting.
Yeah.
I just want to go home. I just want to eat my dinner. I want to read to my child, put him or her to bed, and that's it. And it's a tough situation.
So then we shouldn't complain the next time we hear some police officers getting busted because they acted and had with inappropriate behavior. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't say anything because we said, well, we're tired.
The point is,
You know what I'm saying?
we better start.
That's what I'm saying. I'm being facetious. You know what I
We
mean?
can still complain even if I've done nothing in the past. I can't see that coming.
You can't see what coming.
I
You can't see what coming. You can't see
a
what
police officer misbehaving. I can't see that coming. I'm not psychic. I can't stop it proactively.
No, I'm saying if it happens to you, then you'll definitely see it coming.
I have to react to it in the past tense, and that's the nature of most problems. They talk about being proactive, but what do you want to do?
Proactive means taking a step. Proactive means
but do what? What step?
Taking a step based on what has happened.
What step?
Exactly.
What do you want to do?
Exactly.
Whatever step is necessary, Dan. If you
I'm asking you specifically.
I'm
what do
going
you
to
want
tell
to
you
do?
specifically.
Okay.
Specifically saying, like I said before, if you have a problem with the law enforcement agencies or the school boards, then you say, look, I need to make a phone call. And you say, who do I get in contact with? Because I got a problem with the way things are being run right now. So I need to talk to somebody today about this particular problem. That's where the first step starts. Then from there, as you progress, then you will know what other steps you need to take to
You still didn't tell me what you want to do.
I already told.
No, you didn't. Let me finish. I'm asking you specifically, how do you want to solve the problem that we really have? I'm not asking who you want me to talk to. I'm saying.
What problem are you saying that we
I'm
have?
saying
though? If you're trying-
misappropriation of funds.
Okay, you know what?
Isn't that the problem?
Absolutely.
How do we solve that?
You
Okay,
solve
let's
that by-
see
well,
the books.
hello.
Let's see
What's
the
that?
books.
Let's see the books. Let's make the books open up. Hey, government, open up the books. I
See,
mean,
We're paying the salary. What I'm
We're
saying is we're paying the salaries
Yeah.
of the people who are holding. This is a trip. We're paying. Check this one out.
And we have a
we're
phone
paying
call,
the
by the way.
salary of the people who are holding
Yeah.
the money.
Yeah.
They don't want us to know where the money is
So
going.
we're
There you
talking
go.
about
So what
we're
I'm
talking
saying
about
to
a
you is,
disagreement.
I will go. Here's my solution. Let me go up there. Okay? If I find out today,
you're gonna run
y'all
for the
want to
school
ride? You can come with me.
You gonna run for the
I'm
school
saying?
board?
No, I ain't going to run for shit. I mean, I'm not going to run for nothing. I'm gonna Sorry, sponsors. Anyway, just lost Johnson & Johnson. Anyway, I'm just saying that I will find out the necessary steps it takes to find out what's going on with the funds.
We're talking
I
about
will
a
find out.
disagreement. We're talking about a disagreement
Absolutely.
with how the money is spent.
Right, but
we're
that's
talking
not-
about a
and that's
disagreement
just talking-
with the administrator.
Yes, the
So how do we?
administrative.
But it's his job to make that decision.
And it's his
So
job
then
to
what-
let us know what's going on. We're paying
No,
that
you know
boy's
what,
salary.
though? Listen to
And
this,
so if
though.
we
Listen
disagree
to
with
this.
that, what do we do?
We go and have a
Listen to this.
dialogue with him.
Listen
We
to
set up
this,
a time
though.
to have a
That's
dialogue
called-
with him.
That's called also voting.
Yes.
And
It's
what-
also
and-
going called knocking on his
And
door.
it's also called knocking on his door.
I
and
ain't
letting
waiting
you
2
know
years later.
And go ahead and then go ahead and make the letters and write the letters
That's
and make
right.
yourself known.
I'm not
and
gonna
all
write a
that
letter.
kind
I'm
of
gonna
stuff.
go to his door.
insist that he be accountable.
Accountable.
That's right.
Which
But
means
let's
he-
check.
Which means
Which
we
means
have
presently he should be fired.
But yeah,
Pre-
but
yeah,
we
well,
have
well,
to,
we have
he
to
should-
all get involved.
If he doesn't
Wait a
come up
second,
with the right, if he
responsible.
doesn't have the right answers, and if he doesn't have what we need to see, if he's messing this up, and in other words, he's
But
not
you're
doing his
saying-
job correctly. If he's misappropriating funds, he's got to go.
Okay, let's talk
But
about
I want to give him the opportunity first to show us what's happening. If he can justify what's
I
going
can
on, blah blah
guarantee
blah.
you that you go down there, Rico.
I can guarantee you he can justify it.
You know, and
Go ahead.
he will justify it, but I can guarantee you he won't show you the books because he'll say it's not your right.
Yeah, and if he doesn't show us
And
the
I
books, we show him the
guarantee-
door.
Yeah, but you know what though? That's not what happened when you vote somebody in because our political system has bound us and created this structure where we don't even know what we're voting for anymore. That's why there's a lack of interest in our voting procedures that are happening now because it's so convoluted, it's so difficult to understand what's really being said. The pro and the con say exactly the opposite, and with even in themselves they contradict themselves. You don't even know what's
It's
going
all
on.
a game. They're
And
all
it's totally
look,
a
Kassi.
game, and
They're
it's
just
all
trying to
about
run
lawyers.
game. They're
That's
just trying
right,
to run
because
game.
they want to keep
So
the
the
money.
thing is, if you can
So
beat
here
the
comes
game,
back to one thing. Let me just say it, and I'm going to come back to it because here it is. We must focus on education, 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 because the more we're educated, the more literate we are. And I'm not talking about just social science or history. And why does history repeat itself? Why are we that stupid? We know history repeats
Yes.
itself. It's part of it. We just go, oh, history
Yes.
repeats itself. So we keep letting history repeat itself.
no, because you want to
We
be a
need
victim.
another
You want to be a
kind of-
victim.
No,
It's-
I
it's-
don't want to
it's
be a victim.
But a lot of people do. That's
well,
why
I
they
don't
want
want
to
to.
do that.
That's why I'm having this.
Yeah,
It's
because I
comforting
don't
me.
dialogue
Have
right now. because we
responsibility.
don't
It's
want
like it's
it.
them, they, those, and
And
those.
you know what?
what I
We
mean?
need
It's
to
always
get involved in it, but
Right.
really there's not a misappropriation in just one part
No.
of the government. It's
No.
all across the board, and it's so corrupt.
From the
and it's
school
just
board
so-
to the president.
Everything.
There
and
it
it's
is.
just such a bunch of lies. And we have a phone caller, and go ahead, caller. We'll take you now. Are you with us, caller?
Yes, I am. I think there's corruption in all levels, and there's no getting around that. I think where we should start is with educating children from kindergarten. Why don't we have ethics and moral classes teaching our children from a very young age?
Hallelujah.
And
Thank
then
you.
And then as they grow up, and I mean every year children should be taught these classes, and then maybe the corruption at some point would stop. We can't rely on parents to teach that because parents are, they could be immoral people.
And they haven't been taught either then because they're also part of that history that we
Right.
need to somehow break that chain. And I think you're right, through education and really
And
teaching them
children
things that
don't
aren't
know
being taught in school right now.
Right, and children only know what their parents teach them and what they see at home. And they don't, you could teach them everything from respecting other children and adults to being honest, to being moral, to being empathetic, to being compassionate. And why aren't we teaching that in our schools? I think if we start there, then maybe at some point, we're going to have adults that are good people, which is something we're lacking now, and that's why there's so much corruption.
So we would say it would be safe to say that we'll take that. What's the saying? Takes a village, right? To
It
raise a
does.
child.
But
Why
I
haven't we
totally
done that?
agree with you.
Why haven't we done that? To me, that's common sense.
Well, I think a lot of it, and it's common sense to me also, especially as I grow older as a woman, and I don't know about a male because I'm not a male this time anyway. I'm a female this time, but I
don't
think
know. We went there.
I think also that it's a male-dominated society. I think that their solution is brute force and anger and hostility and violence, and that I believe that there is a natural way for us to actually be harmonious. I think it's through education. I think it's through teaching things like I can't believe that they think that arts are not a vital, important part of creating a human being. The arts is the other half. We need both halves to actually create the whole as a human being. That helps us learn and be inventors and create new things and new technology or really pioneers in other thoughts. And you only get that if you give, I think, the children all this different kind of information, and especially with television and the internet and all the information that's available. It's an information age. And really, education should be like just totally booming about us being excited and be seekers to how to make things better.
No, I think that the whole question about ethics is, I think what's happened in society today is it's not about what is just, what is right, what is wrong. It's about who wins and who loses it. Who wins and who loses. And you see it in our justice system.
Oh,
it's
how
not
horrible
about,
that is.
It's not about who actually
right,
did it.
Who did it.
It's about how good their attorney is.
And how much money they have.
There it is right there.
And how much money they have so they can get out of it, and we allow it.
But you see it in business, you see it everywhere. So the kid who is weighing the whole ethics thing of, well, should I play this and be honest, or should I maybe cheat a little bit so that I can win?
Well, I think part of the problem with teaching ethics in an institution is that the institution is corrupt.
Yes.
I mean,
it's the fox watching the hen.
Who's going to teach it? We're going to get Jesus back here and he can teach ethics?
Is the caller still on?
Yes, I am.
And do you have a solution on how we might do that, or what Dan just said? Do you have a comment to what he just said?
We're not a very ethical people. I mean, who's going to teach it?
Who's going to teachers are. I mean, I think that's something they should start. I think it's really imperative, and I think if they do, we're going to, there's still going to be people who are corrupt and who are going to take the high road into making more money, when the decision comes down to do I do the ethical thing or not. But it's going to be, I think it's going to be less so. And if they're taught every year, that should be a requirement, a required subject. Every year, I think it's important, and I don't know why nobody's ever thought of that.
They used to teach ethics.
Well, the only one, the ironic thing is the only that I know that are taught ethics are attorneys, and isn't that ironic?
Yeah, it's pretty ironic because those are the ones that are just making it really difficult for us to understand what's going on. And I really say KISS. I say keep it simple, stupid. Because really, if we keep it simple, even for me, and I'd like to think that I'm educated, but I don't understand a lot of the things that I read because it's all in legal jargon to try to trick you. So you don't understand what's really going on.
Maybe they teach lawyers this because okay, this is the way you've got to appear to be doing it.
Yeah, and this is how you're going to make money.
So let everybody think that you're doing this, but actually you're winning.
Did you want to wrap something up, caller? Do you want to say something? Your final comment? Okay. So what do you think about what she said, Dan?
Well, like I said, I just don't know who would teach it because. And how do we institutionalize the whole concept of ethics? I really think that most education takes place in the home. The very concept of public education is very recent. And only this country has taken it upon itself to educate its children. That has been modeled throughout the world, but it's really quite recent. The very concept of taxing the population and then creating an institution to teach children is very recent.
So you're saying basically we shouldn't be taxed and we should just have our own money and have our own funds to educate our children the way that we want.
I don't have children.
I'm in favor.
I would go for that.
I'd go for that too. Like, let's keep our own money, and then you know what? If my mother or my father gets sick, I'll take care of them. You know what I mean? I'll make sure that the person that's in my family then is taken care of then, and then the children that are in my family then have to go to a school. I do that rather than pay somebody else that doesn't even have any care or concern for my family.
We praise the free market, and we don't have one.
And we should.
We don't have one.
But I think getting back to the question of ethics, I think that we've become a very materialistic society, and I think that kids need to be somehow taught the value of being honest and being ethical. They need to not only be taught what that is.
You know what?
But they have
Nobody
to say,
thinks that. Who's going to teach it?
But they have to say,
it's a good thing.
Yeah, but it's even
We
across.
have to start
But it's
thinking
even deeper than that. It's deeper than that because it starts
And
from
then
the,
they're really gonna be-
it starts from the
really
top
gonna
down. It starts from the top down. The president on down.
So
It's like
the
I
president-
was not with that woman. Well, I didn't mean I was with her today. You know what I mean? Let me rephrase that.
What's
I
the
did not have-
definition of
What's
is?
the definition of sex?
No, it is.
Well, you know, it's a cigar, and you know what I mean. I mean, come on, you know what I'm saying?
that?
You know,
Well, you
so
know what,
so
though?
it's,
It's
we
really
lie,
gotten to
we
the
lie. Excuse me,
ridiculousness.
we lie at the drop of a hat.
Yes,
We lie at the
do.
drop of a hat.
And we got to stop it.
And that's what happens. We lie at the drop of a hat. So it has to start from the top down.
Right.
It's not, you know, it's not just the teachers. It's not just. It's from the top down. I'm the
It's the
president. Blah
whole
blah blah. And I'm
society.
running.
But you know what,
I'm
though?
running the whole world, but I'm lying.
You know what, though?
Yeah.
Figure that
So
one out.
a teacher's going to tell a 10-year-old not to lie when the president's lying.
And the teacher's telling the kid, you can grow up to be president
Yeah.
one day.
Don't do
Woo!
it.
Can't wait to get me a Monica Lewinsky. You know what I mean?
Children
Come
are
on.
in greater need of role models
Yes.
than
That's
of
right.
critics.
Yeah.
So let's
They don't
be
need to
role
be
models.
taught
No.
ethics. They need to be demonstrated
Yes,
ethics.
and that
and
starts
adults
with the
don't do
individual.
that.
And see,
As
I
a matter of fact,
disagree.
kids are pretty smart on their own. They're really pretty smart on their
They
own.
really are.
And
Yes.
you know what I'm saying?
They're paying
and,
attention.
And a lot of times what we're teaching them screws them way more.
Because they're
right.
paying attention.
You know what I mean? Than their
Yeah,
own. Yeah,
they are, because they are paying attention to every single move we make. Because
Right.
they are watching us and they imitate us, and I imitated my
And we do
parents
crazy
and my,
shit. Oh,
my,
yeah.
my authority figures, and those are the people that are going to be imitated. So I hope I'm going to be a good role model. That's my choice now, and that's why I'm doing this, because you know I want to create a dialogue. I want there to be a dialogue with people, even though we might not agree on certain issues and disagree, but I'm okay with that. That is good to have disagreements, but not to say I have to kill you because you don't agree with me, you know, because I don't have any desire to kill any of you.
Whoa,
is good.
boy. I'm relieved.
That's pretty good.
Woo, that feels good there. But I just want to say one other
I was
thing.
worried about them white sheets I saw in the back.
I disagree with you because I think that it starts from the bottom up. Because the individual, each person
Yes.
will make the difference, not the president. So cares if he lies.
No,
He's
I'm
a
saying
liar.
he has to take
and you know what?
responsibility. I'm not
He
talking
has to
about-
take responsibility for his own karma, and I have to take responsibility for mine. Like
Right.
you have to take responsibility for yours,
Right.
and each one has to be an individual saying, "I'm going to do something different. I am going to be ethical. I'm not going to lie." That's not okay with me because I don't want to be lied to. So cause and effect is the law, and I live by that. That's what works for me.
Right.
And
I actually think we're back to better parenting, aren't we?
we're back to just being a better person in general and knowing that the law is cause and effect. If you're okay getting that effect, then make that cause.
Because-
So we
because-
have
because-
to
You have to
figure out.
really
I'm with the same.
understand
I'm with the same program.
Yeah,
I'm totally
we-
with the same
what
program.
is
If you wanna-
you got an effect, what is the cause? And now we have to wrap up. Go ahead, Vivian.
We
You're
have to figure out how to do that, how to make our kids realize that is a very valuable thing.
We have to just tell them the law is cause and effect.
We have to
We
show
have
them.
to show.
Yeah, you have to
We
show
have to
them.
demonstrate that
Yeah, you have
behavior.
to
I
show
agree
them.
with you.
If you
And
want
we
to keep
don't.
on getting what you're getting, keep on doing
And
what you're doing.
yes,
You know, and that works both ways.
Yes, and you can
Okay.
say you can talk until you're blue in the face to your kid about how they better be good and they better not tell a lie. But if they are watching you do it, then they're not going to get it. They're going to figure, oh, I can be duplicitous.
And
I think,
okay,
I
here we
think-
go.
I
We have to
think-
say goodbye.
I think respect for education and ethics begins in the home.
Great. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Hey,
Good night.
peace, man, again.
Later.
Have a great one. We'll talk again.